without further ado, it's the big one. It is the grand final for AFL season 2021 between the Melbourne Demons and the Western Bulldogs at Optus Stadium for the first time ever. It's going to be 7:15 Eastern Standard Time.
Yeah, don't forget those 15 minutes, mate. Yeah. Jared is not going to last.
I don't think. Be asleep.
Be in bed.
Hey, listen, it's early bird dinner at the old folks' home, all right? Good. They serve it sharp at 5:30, and if you're there, you're laughing. If you miss out, you go hungry.
Tasty.
Long time till breakfast. Boys, where to start with this one? Who's opening this one up for me? I think I've heard enough out of your mouth, so I want to hear a bit more out of Sensible Dan.
Yeah, look, I'll cut to the chase on this one. Firstly, it is a shame that Nate Jones isn't getting a Guernsey here.
Obviously, as a medical sub.
Yeah. You're going to go home for the birth of your kids. That's fair and good. But look, what a career he's had. He's been the D stalwart for his entire life, basically. Been there through the worst of it. So
the Jack Watts era.
Absolutely, and it got worse than that. The Mark Neild era, famously disgusting.
The
Trengrove,
Tom Scully leaving immediately.
And I'm not a big guy. This bloke deserves a medal, etc., etc. If anyone did deserve one, I would actually put it down to Nate Jones, because I think putting up with that crap for his entire career and then getting to this point and not being there, a bit rough. But anyway, good, congrats on a great career.
Yep.
D's defence this year has been their linchpin. May and Lever back there, just unbelievable. We'll get to the keys to the game a bit later, but that's going to be my key to the game. I'm just going to put it out there straight away.
We're doing keys to the game. Get your little brain box, get it churning. Come up with some keys to the game.
So that's going to be mine anyway.
Funny key to the game, and you're going to laugh.
I'll go into that a bit later, but yeah, that's going to be where I'm going to be heading with that one. There's nothing flashy about them. They don't do anything elite. They're not big.
They're effective.
But they just do their job super well. Done. Both elite in 1v1 contests, intercepts. They're just fantastic. And Stephen May is just putting on bulk like no tomorrow, and it's working for him. I wish I could look like that.
Hell damn yeah, brother.
Maybe one day. So that's going to be the key for them. The D's midfield obviously is elite.
Yes.
Earlier on this year, they've played him a couple of times. We've seen Oliver have 33 and 38 disposals against him this year, so he loves playing the Dogs. I expect much of the same. Gawn's going to be rubbing his hands together because he's getting an absolute layup no matter who he plays.
Even Steph Martin?
Yep.
Yeah.
At this point in his career, absolutely.
Okay.
We haven't seen Steph Martin play at his best this year, even
after
when he has
that
been on the
big
field.
game as well against Geelong.
Yep.
He's going to be riding high.
Absolutely. And again, when you've got those guys sharking at your feet, it makes life very easy.
You feel good.
The forward line, that's probably the bugaboo. It was the bugaboo at the start of the year. They were the fifth highest scoring team, so not terrible. But Sydney and Essendon actually scored more points than them this year. So their forward line...
That's hard. I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah.
I did not know that.
It's a bit hit and miss on their day, but they've got the carnivore up there. Big Tommy McDonald.
Indeed. The herbivore.
Absolutely. They got that. Yeah, exactly.
All the vores.
What a duo.
Team Vor.
They've got Big Knob Pickett.
Knob Pickett.
And Beavis, who was in career best nick this year.
He might be the leading goal scorer of the finals.
It'd be Baz Lenker.
I would have thought, yeah.
What if Fritz might kick two and he might be... That'll be equal best.
But Baz Lenker's leading him by about...
Two.
Is it two?
I think it's only two.
And the hearts of the nation.
Yeah.
Well and truly.
Absolutely. So, anyway, their forward line, when they get going, they can be good. But there's a good chance Alex Keith's going to play in this game. So that makes life a lot tougher for either McDonald or Brown. They're going to have to rely on the other blokes to get the job done.
Indeed. I'm not going to ask for a pick just yet. We'll come back to it.
Tell us about the Dogs. I've done some of the Ds. Tell us about the Dogs.
What do the good folks of Guadalajara, Mexico, have to say about the Western Bulldogs in the grand final?
I don't have to say this, but I will. The Doggies have been in the caravan. They have been travelling everywhere, and they've done extremely well. They've been the Des Dog of the Week 2 weeks in a row, and I can honestly tell you, it was one of my least confident Des Dogs of the Week. They're obviously not going to be the Des Dog if I didn't truly believe it in my loins. But you know what I mean. They come who really had them to beat Port?
Not many. Not like that as well.
Either geniuses, fools, or the most rusted on one-eyed of supporters.
I tipped them with hope. That was pure hope, and I thought that they were going to get off to a good start and then hold on. Oh, man. They were unreal. And I love, you see Bev held up something, and I think it was 6A. That was like a training drill, training drill 6A. That is fantastic. Mm-hmm. To do that in a prelim and try different things and to be able to do that sets them up perfectly for the Ds, because those training drills are going to be based around the Demons. You're going to know, they know, they're 60, 70 points up. Mm-hmm. We're just going to play around. We're going to play around with them. And it's going to be. I can't even make a pick. You're going to hear my pick a bit later, but I can't even make a pick and like fully back it. Like, I can't fully back it.
So this show is pointless and a farce and a waste of time.
Oh, it's
as every week.
yeah. Well, look, he's got the big. I've got your little hat on.
All right. Is there any tape over there? Find some tape. I'll tape it to your skull.
Put it on my mouth. No. But
It's got an elastic thing on it.
When
It's not big enough for his dome.
Yes,
is
it is. It is. Absolutely.
Go on, put it on your head.
Oh, yeah. When you think of the Doggies, though, you think of the 45 midfielders they have.
Oh, there you go.
You think of the 45 midfielders they have, and it has worked for them. And it's worked like we hoped. We were unsure how they would mould into what they...
A premiership side.
Really, it took them like 3 rounds. I'm tucking this behind my ears because it's an absolute mess while I'm talking. And but no, they've actually moulded into, obviously, a premiership team, and I'm really glad they've made it. Cody Waitman back in. Huge.
I think that...
Mitch Hannon, like, you just think of their forward line, like, it's just...
Mercurial.
What I was going to say, the thing is, at the start of this year, when they brought in Adam Treloar, this really was everyone's grand final pick anyway. They went from being, they should make finals to... If they don't make a grandy,
it's not good enough.
It's a catastrophic failure.
Just think of their you think of their midfield and the pieces that they have. And I saw something that was very interesting where it was like, can the quality of Melbourne's, and I'm not saying Doggies don't have quality, like that would just be stupid. But the quality of Melbourne's midfield, you got Gawn obviously in the ruck, you got the two superstars, the tag team champions and the world champions. You got Petrarca and my boy Clary Oliver.
Claz, yeah.
And even Viney, like those three, it doesn't matter who you rotate in. Like that's a real tough competition to be up against.
You know
what I mean? That is like one of the most elite midfields of all time.
This would be the top 2 midfields in the competition, surely.
I was certainly rated for this year, and it's the grand final that we needed to have. With 10 rounds in, and there was only 2 teams that were sat 9-1. You thought even then, 2.5 months in. This needs to be our grand final.
Oh, it's perfect.
I think so. I mean, we've been on other teams at various points of the year. Both, like all of us.
Cats and Port, and they
were
lost.
Playing well. Brisbane was playing well. Did I say Cats, Port, whatever?
Do you know what?
There was a few teams that were playing
something.
really good football. But the Dogs and the D's, they were the best at the beginning of the year. The Dogs really only fell off right at the very end. Right at the very tail end of the season. They fell away, but they were still these are the 2 best teams in the competition for 2021. It's the grand final we deserve. Now all we need is for them to put on a show for us.
It is indeed. I'm having a look through here, just trying to find some additional stats.
While you do that, it's interesting.
Please.
These guys have actually played in a grand final before, believe it or not.
Oh.
And it was the Doggies' first grand final, or first grand final win, I should say, in 54.
Stats, man, Des.
It's an interesting stat. I've got another one for you that's going to give you pause for thought.
I thought you were going to correct me then.
No, I'll let you have your day.
No, that's true.
I'll let you have your day.
That's legit.
The past 8 grand finals in a row, and 11 of the past 13 have been won by the side that polled the fewer Brownlow votes earlier that week. Do you understand that, Des?
I do, because a team of champions never beats a champion team.
In 2021, there were 96 total Brownlow votes for Melbourne, 85 for the Western Bulldogs. So the history tells us the Doggies are in for one.
Do you want another stat?
Hit me.
That'll blow your mind.
Go. I love it already.
All right. So my key matchup, because I'm going to move into this early, right? Because why not? You brought up a stat, and I can't help myself because I get.
No, nor into it.
I go to Penn Island when I hear stats. Right?
Oh, he's wood.
Absolutely. Big wood. All right. Wood. So my key matchup is obviously Melbourne's defense versus Dogs' offense. Now, Dogs' offense, hugely high-powered this year. They were putting up points like no one's business. Melbourne had the best defense in the comp, bar none.
Mm-hmm.
All right. The last 4 premiers and 5 of the last 6 premiers have allowed less points over the course of the season. So history would tell us that the better defense will win this, which is Melbourne. Now, your stat just said the Dogs. I actually genuinely think this is one of the closer grand finals in terms of a pick'em that we've seen in a few years.
And I say that is what I'm thinking, but that is before. I think of it as we could go into this game and the Doggies could get 6 goals up here and it could be over. Not over at quarter time.
You'd be stunned.
But you go, wow.
Stunned if that happens.
But Melbourne could do the same. Melbourne kick 4 in very similar to what happened the week before. I don't think to that scale. I don't think they're going to win by 60, 70 points. But a team could put it to bed real early. Mm-hmm. And Doggies, obviously, they don't put their head in the sand and give up. But
they've gutsed it out. They've made this whole finals campaign just about it's us against the world. throw everything you want at us.
they
We'll
have
deal
done
with
it
it.
before,
We'll go with
but-
it.
They've done Port Adelaide, but better.
It is.
Yeah.
They've literally taken that mantra of everyone hates us, it's us against them, and actually been about it. Like, seriously been
Yeah.
about it. I would be the same as you, absolutely stunned if this blows out more than, say, 25 points. I think this will be a real close one. No matter which way it goes, I cannot see a team running away with this.
Doggies are already 1-0 up in the grand finals. VFL grand finals, obviously we count them. I personally, I'm a bit iffy on VFL. But that's all right.
I mean,
we joined their competition, so I get why they like to call it that. But they played each other in a grand final.
We literally discussed this maybe 2 weeks ago.
Correct.
Right? When they changed this is England, so this is going completely off topic, right? In the Premier League, when they changed from the Division 1 to the Premier League, titles prior discounted.
Yep.
Doesn't matter anymore because you've not won the Premier League. It's the Premier League titles that you've won.
I know.
It's
When they joined, though, they joined the VFL.
yeah.
So they joined the league.
It should-
not the
and-
talk.
I'd love to hear-
I
And then
don't
change
like
the
it.
name. Anyway,
I do not like it at all. I do
second
not
that
like
the-
it, but I'm saying that they are 1-0 up in AFL, VFL grand finals.
And yet they're 1-1 this year.
another argument for another day.
They're 1-1 this year.
They are.
Played each other twice, 1-1, with the Bulldogs getting the last one on the board. Mm-hmm. Very interesting. So I will take you back to that game just for a little bit of compare the pair.
It was an awesome game.
There was a bloody good game.
in the wet. That's another thing that we got to
What a
remember.
blander.
Oh,
In the wet.
Beer's repeating on me, I tell you what.
It is.
Unbelievable. All right, so last time they played was round 19.
Mm-hmm.
Dogs got up by 20 points. Very interesting. Now, there's some reasons here that I believe that the Dogs won this game that mean that they're not going to win this game this week. I'm giving you my pick early. I'm saying Melbourne to win this one, 1-39, and I'll retroactively explain why.
His heart bleeds true.
It does for the red and the blue. Boom. Boom. I'm all in on him. The biggest thing of this, now he didn't play the world's greatest and biggest game, but in terms of just sheer presence and that dangerous aspect on the field, Josh Bruce, 2 goals, 1, which is not great, had 12 touches, 8 kicks. He was setting up other goals, setting up other blokes, score involvements, bringing guys into the game, which is what you want from a key forward. If he's not going to kick goals, at least get involved, get your hands on the pill, set some shit up.
Yep.
Where is he now?
Dead.
Where is he now? And who's his replacement? Josh Shackey, who was great against the Lear. But you need in a grand final to be playing your offensive game and having a key forward who is going to take the ball at its highest point and kick goals, not to go out and play an actively negative game on a
agree.
defender. Having said that, May, Lever, gee, I don't know. Can you afford to go toe-to-toe with them? Can you afford to put someone like Josh Shackey, who's played what? Has he played 40 AFL games? Something along those
Wouldn't have
lines?
thought.
Has he played 40 good ones?
No,
Has he
definitely
played,
not.
Absolutely
has he played
not.
4 good ones?
Well, debatable.
Define good.
In the
but
last 3 weeks, he's played some okay games.
Can you honestly send out a key forward to play against someone like Lever and May,
See, I don't
who's
think-
not going to take it up to them and play their own game and make the defender play on them, not you play on the defender? Make the defender work to you.
Yep. I don't think you just can't. I don't think they will go toe-to-toe with them. It'll come down to guys who are a bit smaller, Mitch Hannon, Cody Waitman, just to force mistakes, pressure, lots and lots of pressure. There's no way in hell Aaron Norton, as good as he is, great player, what's he going to do 2-on-1? Because that's essentially what it is with Josh Shackey down there.
I do.
Does Jamara get a game?
You can't. You can't upset that team that had that win against Port, against the odds. You've got to remain. And I know that I've just
comes
said
out
that.
for Waitman? Who
Well, see,
gets
that's
to
the
flick
thing
for
because
Waitman?
you're going to have to upset it for Waitman, and it's going to be someone.
okay, though.
I don't know who does come out. That's a tough one. That's a tough one.
I'll look into who's
Johannesson.
getting the flick.
Maybe.
Johannesson's not getting the flick.
Why
He'll
not?
do. Why
Medical
not?
sub.
He started as a sub multiple times this
Yeah,
year.
medical sub. Someone else will get the flick. They love it. He's a Norm Smith medalist. That's good for the team.
Which won me a lot of money at the time, but completely undeserved as well. But we'll get to the Norm Smith a little bit
I
later.
agree.
Okay, tell me your key matchup then, Rich. Where do you think
before
this
you
game
talk
is?
anymore,
Oh,
you're
go
gonna
on.
Fucking this
go on.
bloke here, spit it out. Come
You're
on.
gonna hurt
Hurry
me.
up.
So, the Doggies, and I saw a thing on Fox Footy, and I don't normally believe Fox Footy. They were my nuffies of the year. My
That's
dummies
coming from
of
you.
the weeks. Yeah, they have made some... I've made some horrendous calls that have turned out good. They have made none. They have made no calls good.
Dismissed.
0.
Desloy. Desloy. Nuffy of the year.
They did say, and I really looked into it. I kind of dismissed it at first, but they said the Dogs struggle with small forwards. So the small forwards have been putting a bit of a beating on the Dogs, and they gave some examples. And obviously, like Eddie kicked 5, and the Gold Coast small forwards had a bit of a well, they had a field day, really. And Dogs still won. Like, Dogs won those games. So, irrelevant.
But their smaller
You think that?
their smaller defenders are not actually good defenders. Caleb Daniel is not a good defender. He's a great rebounder. Bailey Dale.
3 letters.
Bailey Dale is not. And I know what you're going to say. Big NOB.
Knob.
At time.
Knob is my key.
Daniel's not a good defender. Bailey Dale was not a very good defender either. Great rebounding blokes. They super clean with the footy.
Well, think blokes like Duray, Cordy.
That's it.
They're not. And this is why I sort of question even that coming from Fox Footy. Oh, small forwards give the Dogs backline a lot of trouble. I would have thought your tall forwards, your big key forwards,
What happens
would be
when it
very
gets to ground,
difficult to
though,
stop.
and Knob gets it, and we saw him in the flesh. Knob, by the way, nephew of Byron. That's why he's Knob, just if anyone wants to. And
Ask a
my
question.
favourite Melbourne Demons player, what's
Why?
going to happen? He's the man. He's electric. He's electric.
Nine reasons.
The most electric man in a Melbourne Guernsey. Name someone more electric.
I tell you,
Jake Bowie.
You talk about shut up. You talk about knobs. You sit on them just daily, man. I tell you froth every bloke going.
So Cozzy Pickett, right? What happens? Ball gets it. So Benny Brown's going up. Bang. Punched out. Keith, he's probably not going to spoil it, but Keith balls. Bang. It's on the ground. Who's going to catch Knob?
Well, look, I mean, you would.
There's a list, and it's empty.
The most obvious matchup there is Duray. You're not going to trust Daniel
or Williams. No, you're not.
So I saw this Fox Footy. The Fox Footy point was the small forwards have been hurting the Doggies, and I think Cozzy's in for a big one.
I don't know. I want to see that compared to the tall forwards because you asked me what I think my key matchups are here, and I think there's a few that really stick out. Really stick out. And that really lead into me backing Melbourne in hard here. So number one, Max Gawn against whoever he's rucking against. It's been his final series. It's a shame you can't bet on like the Gary Ayres medal.
Is there an MVP? Is that Gary Ayres?
Of the final series, yes. There's an MVP of the final series.
That isn't given enough love. I don't even know.
Colour me shocked that your first key is a ruckman.
I'm working from the centre and I'm working out. All right? And I'm working out. And it's Max Gawn. You can't not be there.
I know.
Look, it's been his finals campaign, and your neck and neck for that Gary Ayres medal is Gawn and Bailey Smith.
Baz
at the minute. Now, what are the options here against Gawn? Tim English, who has been underwhelming in the ruck, he's
defensively
fared better
horrendous. Ruckman
fared better in the forward line, underwhelming in the ruck. You've got who's that other cobber? Lewis Young, right?
Don't disrespect.
No, well, is he Max
he's going to be
Gawn?
disrespected if he goes on Gawn. That's the thing. He's going to get a lot of
Kieran
disrespect.
Strong would tally him up.
He's a jobber. Do you know what I mean? He is a jobber.
He's a jobber.
You got Steph Martin, who is your other option, who has played 5 games this year, something like that.
Yeah.
He's battled.
He's battled horrendously. He's
Gawn
had one
needs him
game
in the
back
sternum,
in,
and Martin could turn to dust.
but he's had one game back in, and then they've had a week off, and then playing in a grand final. Now that's not great for your prep coming in. So if Gawn plays this right, he's getting first look at that ball, and he's been playing like a midfielder this whole last month. He gets first look at it, and he's going to feed those blokes directly, and then chase up his own groundwork. All right, out of the middle straight away. So your Bulldogs midfield unit, as good as they are now all of a sudden playing from a defensive mindset as opposed to an attacking one. That's interesting to me for a start.
It is.
Go to the other end of the field right now. I'm looking at that Bulldogs backline. They're not tall blokes, as we touched on. Alex Keith is not tall. Taylor Duray, Williams, Dale, Cordy, if he plays. They're not tall blokes. Look at Melbourne's forward line. You got Big Ben, bustling boner Brown, sits there eating cabbage and rocket leaves all week, and now he's grown the size of a beanstalk. He is. He's huge. Tom McDonald, big lad, big strapping, young, well-built, vascular, veiny,
Gained 45 kilos of pure muscle this year.
throbbing, red-faced.
Oh, Tom Sams McDonald.
Actually, he's a big man.
He is.
He's a big man.
He's ginormous.
Yeah.
These are 2 big focal points for a start. Who else do you see going down there? Luke Jackson, is he going to be playing?
Yep.
How tall is he? 197, 198?
200.
He's 200. Boom. Right there for a start.
Yeah.
If he switches off the ball,
Getting
maybe
excited.
he gives Max a chop out in the ruck. Jackson goes in. Gawn goes into the forward line. He's 210 centimetres, something ridiculous like that.
Yep.
This is a tall forward line, and I think it's too tall for the Dogs to contend with. At the other end, as you highlighted, you've got Lever, you've got May, and everyone froths on Lever and May's penises, and that's fine because they've been good. No one's giving any sort of love to blokes like Hibbard, Hunt, Harrison Petty, who have moulded their games to seamlessly operate at the feet of these men and be there when Lever floats across, takes an intercept mark, or when May wins a one-on-one. He backs back, his eyes instantly looking inboard, outboard, who's available. And these blokes know how May and Lever operate, and they spread, they go. They're just as important. They make the other two look good. They're just as important.
Do we think that the Dogs will employ Josh Shackey in that defensive forward role again? Do you send him to one of those two?
No, I don't think you can. I don't think you can play a bloke.
So what use does Josh Shackey have in this team then?
I wouldn't play him.
I wouldn't either. But he'll get a Guernsey because you said you don't want to upset the apple cart.
Yeah, and they'll reward good form. But the biggest thing that the Dogs have got going for them is that they've been here before.
Mm-hmm.
They've been here before. They know what it takes to win a grand final.
Yep.
And the hard way.
Mm-hmm.
And the hard way. Now, Josh Shackey's not been a part of that.
No.
And he's only come good as a very, very, very late in the piece. I don't think you can play him against that very settled backline of Melbourne's. And look, I see the Melbourne backline beating the Dogs forward line.
Mm-hmm.
The midfields cancel each other out. Max Gawn to be the X factor there.
Yep.
I see Melbourne's forward line being too tall for the Dogs' back line.
Yep.
I think the only people that defeat Melbourne, I think it's up here. If they've got it going up here, they win the game. It's Melbourne for my 1-39.
So the Doggies have been the Des Dog of the week for the last 2 weeks, right? The Des Dog of the week. Well, they are the underdogs this week. But I've got the Des Demon of the week. The Des Demon of the week,
Look
baby.
at that dirty Sanchez.
Look at him.
it is,
Look
yeah.
at him and tell me, are we like brothers or what? Because the Demons are getting up. The
Yeah, you do
Demons
look similar, yeah.
We do.
Funny
The-
that.
The other thing is that he's got a mustache and I don't, unfortunately, because I can't grow one. But
That's a real shame.
Demons are
It
gonna
is
get
a
up.
weird thing.
Demons are gonna get up.
Just looking at you from here, you can actually see that you don't have any facial hair.
But it's weird because he clearly shaves all this here and then there and then the lip, but he lets it go underneath. Well, what's that about?
Incel,
Matt Hardy.
incel neck beard.
It's just low test.
Matt Hardy.
Not bad.
Low test.
As a group, I prefer the Dogs players because I like the brand of footy that they play. But I can't see them getting the job done here because I think Melbourne just has everything going for them. They're coming in red hot form.
Replace the word Melbourne with Port.
Yeah.
It's eerie.
Exactly.
It's eerie.
Exactly.
Please continue.
Yeah, but Melbourne
but
are much better than Port.
surely at some point,
clearly better.
Surely at some point, the Dogs have to tire. You said it before. They have travelled a long, long way in the last 4 weeks.
No, they had a spell.
Nah.
Had a spell for a week.
I get what you're saying.
The
I
D-
do understand.
I find it very hard to not back in the D's here. They've got that whole, we haven't won a premiership for 54 years. Max Gawn is just this illustrious unicorn captain that just leads the team to victories, improbable outcomes. I'm backing in Melbourne as well. 1-39 for me.
All the pieces. They've just got all the pieces for a premiership side. You think of the good, or the great premiership sides as well, and they've just got the pieces.
Obviously, it's not impossible to envision the Dogs winning.
Not at all.
This either.
Not at all.
After
and
last
it's a very
week-
hard grand
And
final.
even, like,
Anyone could win.
Absolutely.
Realistically, I misspoke when I said I can't see the Dogs winning this because there's plenty of valid reasons that they can win this. They're a very, very good football team. So I'm just going to back in Melbourne. I'd really like to see the D's get up. Just to throw it out there, don't want to see Gary Lyon presenting the trophy. That actually hurts my soul.
It's not good. It's not good.
But
because he is not a good person.
he is not.
No.
But I would like to see Maxi Gawn holding the trophy, and I reckon that would get some serious use at the after party.
The cup or Max Gawn?
Bit of both.
I think both are getting used
both.
big time. Should be a ripping game, no matter what, though, fellas. No matter what. Very comprehensive, boys. Thank you.